This is simple interest. You guys, this is considered a review. This is one of those things you should have done last year. Some people have, some people haven't, but it's okay. You'll get through it. It's not that difficult, okay? So our first tab is just to understand what is interest. What is interest? And interest is the amount of money, well, not the amount of money, the amount charged for borrowing or using money. Your examples of that would be like a car loan or a home loan, maybe a savings account or investments. Okay, so as a kid, I was the youngest of 3 girls, so my sisters always wanted to borrow money from me because I always had a stash of money, like I always saved my money. So they would ask me, Cheryl, can I borrow $5? And I'll say, sure, but you have to pay me back $7, okay? That extra $2, that's considered interest. And I was making up a number. I didn't have a percentage, but that was me charging them interest. So in order for me to loan you $5, you have to pay me $2 additional. So you have to give me my $5 back plus $2, okay? So they hated borrowing money from me because they always had to pay me back a little extra. That is considered interest. So it can be borrowing money like a car loan. So whenever you get a car, you're going to take a loan for maybe $30,000 or even more. That's a cheap car, okay? And the bank will give you all of that money up front so you can purchase your car. But you pay it back monthly. You pay back the $30,000 you borrowed plus a percent of that amount, which is called interest. On the opposite end, you loan the bank money when you put money in a savings account. That's loaning the bank money. So you give them $5,000 because you want to put away for savings. Well, for loaning the bank money, they pay you interest. So you can either pay out interest or you can receive it. It can be on both ends, okay? So, but we have a formula which you will also find in your STAR reference chart, which we will be looking at a lot this 9 weeks. So the I in this formula stands for interest. And that number is usually written in dollars, okay? The P is for your principal. And your principal is your original amount loaned or borrowed. Your R represent your rate. And it's usually given to you as a percent, and you must change it to a decimal. And your T is time, and that's usually given to you in years, or you need to convert it to years. So for instance, if it says 18 months, because there's 12 months in the year, that is 1.5 years. So you can't use 18 months, you must use 1.5 because it must be in years. Okay, so let's go to some examples. And always using this formula, must keep this formula in mind. So example 1. To buy a car, Mitchell borrowed $17,000. That would represent my principal. Okay, because that's the amount he borrowed originally. For 3 years, that represents my time. At an annual simple interest rate, which it tells you your rate of 9%. If it takes him the full 3 years to pay off the loan, how much interest will he pay? It should say he. So the question is asking me about how much interest. It is important for you to identify what's the question want to know. So if I'm going to basically write down all the pieces to this question. His principal is $17,000. You have your time, which equals 3 years. You have your rate of 9%. And we're going to convert that to a decimal, and that means move your decimal 2 times to the left, so that makes that 0.09. And my interest is what I'm looking for, so that's the unknown. So if I were to write the formula out, which is I equals PRT, that's P times R times T, that'll be I equals 17,000 times your rate of 0.09 times your time, which is 3. This is the work that I want to see on your paper before you pick up a calculator. Okay, so when I give you an assignment, I want to see all this written out, then go ahead and go to your calculator. Okay, so we're going to use our calculator to multiply those things. So go ahead and do that. So pause if you need to go ahead and enter that in your calculator. But when you're done, you should have the interest equal $4,590. And this is money, so that's why I put the dollar sign. Okay, so that's how much he will pay, how much interest he will pay. Because the question is asking about interest, so my answer is in interest. So this is my answer. Be very careful. This formula is very simple. The hard part comes in paying attention to the details. Let's try example 2. Keith's parents deposited $2,500 into a savings account as a college fund when he was born. How much will Keith have in his account? The question is, how much will he have in his account? After 18 years, at the simple interest rate of 3.75%. So I've identified my part. So my principal is $2,500. My time is 18 years. And my rate is 3.75, which that's a percent. As a decimal is 0.0375. And the question is asking me about the what? Interest plus principal. Okay, because it says how much will he have in his account. If he deposited $2,500, that's in his account plus the interest. Okay, so at the end I have the $2,500 plus whatever the amount the interest is. So for the formula I have I equals PRT. So I'm going to go ahead and enter that in. I equals 2,500 times my rate of 0.0375 times 18. And that's 18 years. So my interest should equal, go ahead and pause and do that in your calculator. So my interest should be $1,687.50. That is the interest, but that is not the answer. The question says, how much will he have in his account? He will have $2,500 in his account because he deposited that first, plus the interest of $1,687.50, which should give him a total of, go ahead and put that in your calculator. And what is my total, someone? $4,187.50. $4,187.50. That is my answer. Now, please don't make a mistake. If this was a test question, a multiple choice answer will be just the interest to see if you're paying attention to the question. Okay? So make sure you pay attention to the question before you move on to the next thing. Okay? I want you guys to try number 3 by yourself. If you need to do so in pencil, do that. And then I will show you the answer. Make sure you pay attention to the details. Okay, here is what I've gotten so far. A bank offers an annual simple interest rate of 7% on a home improvement loans. How much would Tony owe if he borrowed $8,000 for 18 months? Well, remember, T always is in years. Your principal's $8,000. Your 7% comes 0.07, and 18 months becomes 1.5 years, because that's 12 months in a year, and 6 months left over, so that's half of a year. So what is your interest? So I will multiply 8,000 times 0.07 times 1.5, and I get 840. Please be careful. That is not my answer. The question asks, how much would he owe? Well, if he borrowed $8,000, believe me, if you borrowed $8,000 from me, I don't want $840. I want my $8,000 back plus the amount of interest. So the amount that he owes is your $8,000 plus your interest of $840, which the total amount that he owes back is $8,840. And that is your answer. Okay, the next tab says solve for P, R, or T. So before in this problem, you're always solving for interest. But you never know what the question is asking you to solve for. So let's go ahead and look at example 4. Okay, Mackenzie invested $3,500. That will be her principal in a mutual fund at a yearly rate of 6%. And guys, a mutual fund is like a stock, so that is considered an investment. Okay. It's like a group of stocks. She earned $945 in interest. For how long was the money invested? So what I have here is my principal is $3,500. That's the amount that's invested. And then I have a rate of 6%, which as a decimal is 0.06. The time, it says how long. I don't know the time. That's what I'm looking for. And then the interest in dollars is $945. So I will rewrite my formula. I equals PRT. This is where equations come back again. So if you were struggling there, it's going to show up again and again and again. So my I was $945 equals my principal of $3,500 times my rate of 0.06 times the time, which I don't know, so I will leave that as my variable. Okay, so if I do 3,500 times 0.06, what would I get there? $210 times time. And I'll just rewrite the rest of it. And then what would I do next to find out my T? No, I'm not subtracting. Divide by 210 to get that variable by itself. So this goes away. So I have my time equals what?